All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel, guys. It's time for a quick video here. Well, I don't know how quick it'll be. You know I ramble, but anyway, say hello to Ren and Stimpy, Powder Toast Man, Log, and TV, and Choo Choo, and let's get started now. These are the Tempest Knives Microburst prototypes, and this is a video leading up to the pre-order, which will be Saturday, the 21st of January, 2023, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I just want to go over a few things. This is not a full review of the knife because, you know, I don't know why it's not, but it's not a full review of the knife. It's a look at the knife, and I will talk about some of the specs and some different things about the knife. Now, these versions, just a little disclaimer, are the ones that I have in because I have sent all the rest of the prototypes out to other reviewers. So the base model of the knife will not have these milling lines on the scales. This is a disclaimer right off the top. And the reason for that is I had them made with the milling lines because it's called the Microburst, and I thought that looked like rain, and it was very much the way I perceived the knife. When the prototypes showed up and I started showing them, there was an overwhelming group of people that did not want the scales milled. They just wanted the plain titanium. Plain micarta. So I did a poll. Kevin did a poll. We did a lot of checking. Kevin Lefty EDC, my buddy, and yeah, it was like 90%. That did not want it. So the knives are being produced. There will be a black wash blade in 14C28N and black micarta with black hardware, and it will not have these milling lines. It is a titanium backspacer. The screws, all the hardware except the pocket clip are titanium. This is a wire pocket clip. Come on, focus. There we go. It can be replaced with a Lynch Northwest clip. Now, this screw and the two slots will also be on this side, so it will be an fully ambidextrous knife. But again, the hardware is titanium. The backspacer is titanium. You do have contoured scales on this knife, and this beautiful black wash blade with the thumb studs in 14C28. The only markings will be the Tempest logo here and 14C here where it says D2, if you can even see that because it won't focus. Trust me, it says D2 back there, right back there. It'll say 14C28. Here, oh, I know, my lighting's off a little bit. Let's see if that helped. Can you see it now? Yeah, you can. So, basically, the only other changes being made to the knife are I'm adding a tiny little bit more lock bar access here. I'm adding a slight chamfer to the lock bar, so there'll be just a little where it's laid back slightly, like a chamfer, on the lock bar, so that there's not a sharp edge there. Which, you know, to me, it doesn't bother me. But there were some people that suggested it, some reviewers, so I thought I would at least try that. The only so the changes are, of course, there will be milled area here and a screw for the pocket clip to be changeable, a little bit more lock bar access, and that chamfer. And then the only other thing I'm doing is just making sure that Kubi uses 5mm 1/16 bearings, which is what was on the pinion. But that's not really a change. It's just making sure that that's what's in here. And I think it might be. I'm just not sure. So making sure of that. So just to repeat, the two versions will be a black wash blade with black hardware and then a stone wash blade, which I just think is absolutely so well done with that beautiful swedge, the thumb studs, and plain micarta scales, no milling, and the silver hardware, which is all titanium, including the backspacer. We did get you lanyard fans this time around. Very, very cool. Now, the detents on these are perfect in my opinion, and all the reviewers have said the same thing. So I'm going to leave the thumb studs right where they are because I want it back out of the cutting path. It's really snappy. It's a little more difficult to get to it for a middle finger flick, but a lot of people have said it's no problem for them. You know, most of the reviewers have said that. So I'm going to leave it alone just because it's really, really great like it is. Again, you get full 4 fingers back here, and then you've got a full awesome choil here. Now, the overall length of the knife, if I can get my ruler out here. Gosh, I'm having all kinds of issues. The overall length of the knife is right at 7 inches. The blade is right at 3 with a 2 and, well, I would call it, let's get it lined up here, just over 2.5 inch cutting edge. And now that's because of the generous choil there. And then your handle length is just at 3 3/4 there. But again, just plenty of room for me, not a problem whatsoever. You do have jimping up here on the back, which works for me in a pinch grip, both here and here. It works. If you want to get out here, I wanted to leave the swedge because of how that looks, but you still have, it's not a deep swedge, so you still have a nice place to get up here and get on top of it. Now, as far as cutting, guys, I'm just thrilled with how this knife came out. It is 0.12 inch blade stock, but it just, because of how tall I made the blade, which I'll give you that measurement in a minute, it just came out ridiculously slicey. I mean, it is just a phenomenal, this could be your trash day cardboard knife. I mean, it really is. I don't have enough room here is my big problem, but you can just see it just eats cardboard for breakfast. So really, really cool. And now I have cardboard absolutely everywhere. This is epic. Very nice. So I'm digging the knife. Again, it is my design, so take that into account. Please take it into account. I am fine with that. If you want to take some bias and put it in there, it is my design. Now, Kubi is the manufacturer of these for me in China, and they did a fantastic job. Now, just one of my comparisons here is the QSP Penguin, because you have right at that 7 inch length. It obviously, the Microburst is taller and has a finger choil. Your other two comparisons, number one is the Ontario Rat number 1, which is quite a bit bigger. And of course, you got to put the Rat 2 out here, which is going to be roughly the same length. So there you go. If you know what a Rat 2 is, that gives you that idea. Now, this is obviously smaller than the Pinion. We'll get a Pinion out here. The Pinion is an 8 inch knife. So you have some more on the blade and the handle here, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And obviously, again, the Microburst is taller blade. You can see that here. It is definitely a taller blade, which gives you that thin, slicey edge. That blade, as far as height, is right at, oh, come on. All right, we're going to do this right here. I must start it right at the 1 there. So it's just over, it's 1 inch and 1/8 is what I'm getting. I'm going to do it off camera, guys, because I'm struggling here. 1 inch and 1/4, I'm sorry. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it and then be wrong. It's 1 inch and 1/4. And again, nice thin. I think it's 0.47 on the scales, but they're taller, so they fill my hand really, really well. Now, let's go over a couple things, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So the pre-order is Saturday the 21st of January 2023 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, only on TempestKnives.com. And that's the only place these will be available. Now, the pre-order, the way a pre-order works, obviously, is you guys are helping fund the project. I have kept the price down as low as I can. Kubi did increase the price on me from where I was on the Pinion for the same materials. And again, I didn't even pass all of that along to you guys. I kept it as low as I possibly could. The price is $88.99 for 1. And then 2 is, shoot, and of course I don't have it in front of me right now, but there is a deal for there is a deal for 2. And I want to make sure I tell you guys correctly, so I'm going on the website right now. You would think the guy that is like selling the knives would remember, but he doesn't. So it's $167.99. I'm glad I didn't say it because I was going to say $168.99. So $167.99, and that is $10 off of 2. And then there is also an option to purchase these scales. Now, this is a change from what I said for a couple of weeks. These scales on the pre-order only, because they will go up after the pre-order, as will the knives. These scales are only going to be $19.99. That is correct. I dropped $10 off of what I originally said. They will be $19.99 for a pair of scales with the milling on them like this. So contoured micarta with the milling lines will be $20. So there you go. Now the pre-order will stay open probably for a little while. I'm not sure how long. My hope is to be able to order these as quickly as possible. Again, Kubi has said 60 days from the time I order. And we accept the order, meaning we get on the same page and get everything rolling, to when they ship them. So I'm saying 75 days to you guys, and that's about what we did with the pinion. It may be slightly less, and it could be slightly more, but I doubt it. Need to get it funded as quickly as possible. The more sell on the pre-order up front, the more quickly I can place the order. So really appreciate you guys helping me by supporting up front. And that's why, again, I've tried to keep the price as low as I possibly can. I've been asked by people about the price, and the only thing I will tell you guys is, obviously, I'm buying these from Kubi, and then I'm putting a little bit on top of that for myself. That's just part of doing business, and I'm also leaving room, as I may sell some to dealers, but I'm not sure yet how that's going to work out. But at this point, I have kept the price as low as I possibly can, no matter what anybody says. I'm telling you, and I've always been truthful and honest, and I'm keeping them as low as I can. And that's why I went ahead and knocked the extra $10 off of the scales, just to get them as low as I can, possibly. And that is as tight can be as far as margins, and I try to keep everything that way for sure. So there you go, the Tempest Knives Microburst. Again, it is my design. I am having it produced. I am the one selling it, but I absolutely am blown away. A lot of people, Tim B., one of my great supporters, and others asked for a smaller knife from Tempest. I listened, and I made it in my way, and I think you guys are really going to dig this knife. And I appreciate all your support on the pinion, and I'm very excited to see how many of you stand behind the Microburst. And guys, I'll get them to you as quick as I can, and then we will have probably, once we find out how many have sold, I'll decide how many I'm going to order, and we'll definitely try to have more for sale later. But again, no promises. It all depends on how the pre-order goes, and how everything breaks down. So there you go. Hopefully this was a helpful video. I know it was a rambling video, but there's a lot of information to get out there, and I hope you guys are enjoying this design. There are more designs to come from Tempest, including a small fixed blade and another folder are both in the works very, very soon. So thank you guys. I'm excited about this one. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. And thank you so much for your support of Tempest Knives and the KnivesFAST channel. And thanks for watching the KnivesFAST channel.